Hi, welcome to Blindowl Outdoors. We hope you enjoy our channel, and if possible, could you please join our Patreon page? We really need your help. It's been a long, hard road. Thank you. Hi, my name's Dan. I'm here in the Philippines on the Island of Bohol. Been here 20 years this year. Almost an eternity. Thought I'd tell you a couple jokes maybe, just for the fun of it. My wife asked me if I saw the dog bowl. I said I didn't know he did. Three old ladies are sitting on a park bench when a man comes by and flashes them. The first two old ladies both had a stroke, but the third one couldn't quite reach. You know what they say? Your cat can have kittens in the oven, but that don't make them biscuits. Our neighbor was so stupid, he came up with a bucket list, and the first item on the list was commit suicide. Because of droughts all over Europe, scientists are predicting a global shortage of olive oil. Soon the world will know how Popeye felt after the death of his wife. My wife's father moved in, and he has one of those pacemakers. Every time he sneezes, the garage door opens. My wife said, "What starts with F and ends with K?" I said, "No, it doesn't." Yesterday I went to the grocery store and bought a banana, an apple, and 2 eggs, and the cashier said, "You must be single." I said, "How do you know that?" He said, "'Cause you're ugly." You can build a man a fire and he'll be warm for a day. Set him on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. Outside of a dog, a book is man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's way too dark to read. A black friend of mine said, "This might sound a little racist, but everyone in the KK looks the same to me." A lady told her husband that he was awful at directions. He got so mad that he went inside and packed his bags and right. Little Nancy was in the backyard filling a hole when a neighbor peered over the fence, interested in what the girl was doing. He asked her, "What are you up to, Nancy?" Without looking up, Nancy cheerfully replied, "My goldfish died and I just buried him." The neighbor was concerned and said, "It's an awful big hole for a goldfish, isn't it?" Nancy patted down the last shovel of dirt and then replied, "Because he's inside your cat." There's also an expletive before that, but I won't say it. A lady walks into a pet store and she sees a beautiful parrot with a sign on his cage that says $10. The lady asks the pet shop owner, "Why is it so cheap?" He said, "The bird used to live in a brothel, so he says a lot of inappropriate things. The lady can't pass up a good deal, so she decides to buy the bird anyway. She gets the bird home, and the first thing the bird said is, 'Clean up this dump. The new madam isn't bad looking.' The lady finds this amusing. A little later, a few of her friends stopped by to catch up, and the bird said, 'New whores in the house. Business will be booming tonight.' The girls were a little shocked but laughed it off. A couple hours later, the woman's husband comes in and the bird goes, 'Hi, Jim.' A woman awakes during the night to find her husband not in bed. She goes downstairs to find him sitting at the kitchen table with a hot cup of coffee in front of him. He appears to be deep in thought. She watches as he wipes a single tear from his eye, and he takes a sip of his coffee. She says, "What's the matter, dear?" He says, "Do you remember 20 years ago when we were dating?" The wife's touched almost to tears, thinking her husband was so caring and sensitive. She said, "Yes, of course I do. Do you remember the day your father caught us in the back seat of my old car having sex?" She said, "Yeah, I remember that too. Do you remember when he shoved a shotgun in my face and said, 'You'll marry my daughter or I'll send you to jail for 20 years'? She said, "Yeah, I remember that too." He wiped another tear from his cheek and said, I would have gotten out today." They say when you get older, you do start to look like your pet. This morning, my neighbor came over yelling at me for pooping in his front yard. What's made of wood but can't be sawed? What can't you saw that's made out of wood? Sawdust. We just celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary, and I'm happily married. And I know I'm lucky because 50% of married people say they're unhappily married. Now that's according to a poll I took earlier this morning at my house. I broke my glasses the other day, and I haven't had a chance to get them replaced. So I've been drinking out of my hands quite a bit. What can you grab with your left hand, but never with your right hand? Never. Your right elbow. Nebraska is so flat, you can sit on your porch and watch your dog run away for days. I was looking in the Philippine dictionary, and everything started with an E. I told this one the way today. A magician is driving down the highway, and he turned into a driveway. A guy goes to a job interview and was asked, "What is your worst fault?" He pondered for a second and said, "I'd have to say it's honesty." The interviewer said, "I don't think honesty is a fault." The guy said, "I don't give a fuck what you think." An old lady sees her ex-husband in the bathroom spraying his genitals black with a can of spray paint. She leans over to him and says, "You idiot, you're supposed to turn your clock back." Do we need to be told, don't put bacon inside your pants if you're going to tease a pit bull? I once dated a girl who had a parakeet. Oh my God, that frickin' thing would not shut up. But the bird was really cool. I called my brother at his doctor's office, and his receptionist answered the phone and said, "How can I help you?" I said, "Could I speak to the doctor?" She says, "Who may I say is calling?" I said, "This is his brother Dan." She says, "The reason for the call? Why you'd like to speak to him?" I said, "This is his brother." She says, "Is there a topic for the call?" I hesitated just a second and said, "Tell him I buried Mom and Dad in the backyard just like he wanted, but the dog keeps digging him back up. Please hold." I still like this one here. There are 30 cows in a field, 28 chickens. How many didn't? There are 30 cows in a field, 28 chickens. How many didn't? The answer is actually 10, if you can figure that out. If you have a bowl with 6 apples and you take away 4, how many do you have? I can't tell you how many people get this wrong. You have the 4 you just took away. have branches, but no fruit, leaves, or a trunk. What am I? A bank. Every seat on a bus was taken, but when I looked closer, and there was not a single person on the bus. Am I crazy or what? How can that be? I mean, I've never had anybody get this one right. Everyone was married, so there was no single people. Here's a kind of a long one here. You walk up a mountain and it has two paths. One leads to the other side of the mountain and to safety. The other path will get you hopelessly lost forever. At the fork in the path, there are two twins who know which path leads to safety. You can ask each twin only one question, and here's the thing. One twin always lies, and the other twin tells the truth. But you don't know which one. So what do you ask them? Any ideas? My answer was, ask one twin, are you twins? If he says yes, he's telling the truth, then ask the other twin which way goes to safety, and he'll point to the other way, and then go the opposite way, whatever he says for directions. I don't know what your answer would be. Here's another one I can't believe so many people miss. If you're running in a race and you pass the person in second place, what place are you in now? 9 out of 10 people say I'm in first place, but you're in second place. A man in a car saw a gold door, a silver door, and a bronze door. Which door did he open first? And no one here has ever got it right, but I sent it to some of my friends on the internet, and every single person got it right. Whether they looked up on the internet or they knew it, I don't know. What door did he open first? The car door. Here's a funny one I stumped a bunch of people with here. If a rooster laid a brown egg and a white egg, what color of chicks would hatch? And they always say brown for some reason, I don't know why. But a rooster doesn't lay eggs. How much dirt is in a hole 2 meters by 2 meters by 2 meters? And 9 out of 10 people that went to college will say 2 square meters of dirt. Wrong answer. How much dirt is in a hole 2 meters by 2 meters by 2 meters? 0. It's a hole. Here's one here. I read this probably 10 years ago, and it said almost all elementary school kids under 5th grade get this question right, and almost all college students get this question wrong. Poor people have it, rich people need it. If you eat it, you will die. What is it? Poor people have it, rich people need it. If you eat it, you will die. What is it? Any idea? Nothing. Thanks for watching. Take care.